We searched widely for a librettist, and one night the president of our board, Dr. Nora Kelly, was at a theater performance of a work called 9 Parts of Desire, written by an American named Heather Raffo. The unique thing about this is that Heather had gone to Baghdad and interviewed about a dozen Iraqi women and came back with their stories, which she turned into a one-woman show. Nora called me very late that night and said, "I think we found our librettist."
My background is Iraqi and American. My father's from Iraq and my mother's American, and although my dad has been living in America for almost 40 years, all his brothers and sisters are still in Baghdad, so I have about 50 family members living in Baghdad. And it's not just this war that my family has, it's Saddam's time and multiple wars and the sanctions period. So the amount of torture stories, horror stories, that we know of on a daily basis is really something that it does influence your psyche.
It was quickly apparent that all of the other librettists that we had looked at, people of great skill, of high reputation, did not bring to the table the unique understanding that Heather brings of Iraqi and American culture, because she was born into this. She gets it. She doesn't need to be told. She doesn't need to be trained or instructed. She understood. And because from the beginning, we had determined that this was a piece that spoke with identical eloquence to both sides in this ghastly war, it was wonderful to find Heather.
At the time that I was approached, I had the treatment that Christian had written. I said, okay, I'll tell you what I need, and that's I need to meet Christian. I said, would you please, if you hire me, fly him to New York for a week? And Charles said, absolutely. And that was really the beginning.
Gosh, she's incredible. It's not easy for me to open up to people, especially tell them every dark secret that I have, every fear, every tear I've cried, every guilt, to give her material to write this opera, put words into people's mouths. But she has this heart and this soul that just broke through every barrier that I had, every wall that I created. And she took from that words that I remember telling her, putting it into this opera in ways that people will identify and just relate to.
He is so actually able to articulate with incredible emotional intelligence the things he has lived, and they are some really, really difficult things. And what I thought was amazing about Christian was that he trusted me entirely, and he trusted me instantly.
Her genius is connecting with the human soul and bringing that into music through words.
When I met Christian, I found that a lot of the conversation about his past was reference to his family, particularly the different mother figures that had been in his life. He happens to be adopted, and he had been in foster care, and so there was a lot of different stories about mothers coming from Christian. He had a very particular idea of who the mothers would be in the opera, and I both embraced that and challenged that.
We would be nowhere without her.